You are welcome here. 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 You are our arms are wide open. There's room for everyone. Wherever you go and wherever you are home. You are welcome here. 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 You are welcome here.
The music is great.
Whatever you've been through,
2 weeks in a row.
you found us. Wherever you are on your journey now, you are welcome. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome
There is some excitement in the air over here. Woo! Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Morristown, where we celebrate being love in action. Welcome to all of you who are online, whether you are on Facebook Live or on Twitter or on YouTube today, tomorrow, any day, because we know now that anything on the internet today lives forever. I'm not sure yet how I feel about that. So today we continue the theme of October, which is appreciating abundance. And the topic is the love-fear dilemma. And it all fits in the theme for the year, which is living everyday wonder. I'm really excited to tell you that in November we're doing a special program with Reverend Janice, myself, and the practitioners called Ginormous Gratitude. So we have a ginormous invitation that those of you who would like to volunteer for social hour, because we're going to have social hour every day in November, is that you sign up on that list for us and we'll help you make that happen. I also want you to know that next week we have one of our own members who's an author. Isn't that great? We have authors in our family. Kate Forsby over there, who wrote this book called My Addicted Family. It's a very powerful little book, and she'll have the book so that you can purchase that. On Friday into Saturday, there is a mini retreat in Maryland at the Bolger Retreat Center. The flyers are over there, all kinds of flyers over here. So if anybody wants to go, I'm driving, so if you want to ride with me, you're welcome to do so. It's only one overnight, and it's facilitated by Lisa Ferraro. And then there's also some new flyers because Kat Roman is doing another sound bath, one of the most popular events we've had here, where you don't have to do anything. Just lie on the floor, I lay on the floor and just melt. And that's going to be on November 20th, so we're going to have a good time with that. Let's do our Namaste practice, which is our way of saying, I know who you really are. And in case I forget, remind me who I really am, because Namaste is the Sanskrit expression of the divinity in me greets the divinity in you. So put your hands together and just greet someone and say, Namaste. 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 let's do an opening treatment, which is our word for affirmative prayer. If you want, you can close your eyes. So right here, right now, we take a moment to pause. We take a moment to withdraw our attention from the outer world, the world of effect, which is so often pulling us into all these different directions. But the more we turn within and take a pause, take a breath, and connect with the source of life within us, the more we get to live consciously from that place of truth, which is love, light, wisdom, joy, peace, harmony. And so today we explore how we as individualized expressions of the One experience the world of duality, the world of opposites, and how we can keep turning to the world of oneness, the one truth, the one life, the one love. And as we embody that more and more, experience that more and more, we notice the world around us changes. Even people around us changes. And so we're grateful to be this aware, this conscious, that we can affect our environment and others by standing in the truth of the divine light. And so what is left then but to be so grateful for this awareness and this opportunity and the availability of the infinite presence of life itself right where we are. And so it is.
And so it is.
And one more thing, those of you who are here for the first time, we welcome you. We're glad you're with us. You get a free book today. Who doesn't like free stuff? Just go over to the bookshelf and pick a book that you'd like. And if you need any tips, I'm happy to tell you what some of the books are that I began with in the Science of Mind teaching that kept me coming back for more. So, what I love about this teaching, and when I first started it, and we have a friend, a guest here who remembers me from way back when, I was really struggling with opposites and duality. And I learned in the Science of Mind teaching that the reason that I experience opposites, that I live in the world of duality, is not because it was a punishment, which is what I was taught in the religion of my upbringing, but that I was living in the world of duality because my consciousness was evolved enough that I was ready to incarnate, be born into the world of duality so that I could work with it. I could play with it. I could dance with it. I could experience it and use that to understand more deeply the principles of this teaching and how to apply them. And that was so incredibly exciting to me because what was happening for me is I was dwelling in the side of limitation, lack, loss, fear, worry, anxiety, pain, suffering, way more than in the truth of my being, which is love and grace and abundance and joy and peace and harmony. I realize it's because I was spending much more time over there trying to figure it all out than over here to raise myself up. And so this beautiful teaching awakened me to the infinite possibilities. And what I realized was that my burdens were not there to punish me, unlike in my other religion, but that my burdens were there to grow me. And that if I stopped worrying about them or judging them or fighting them or resisting them, but just embracing them, I began to have a whole different experience. You know what I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just forget often, sometimes, more than not. And so that awareness of understanding that all of it is for us, for me, for my growth, for my evolution, allowed me to look at life in a completely different way. Very early on in the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes says this: in studying the order of our evolution, evolution, it seems certain that it was necessary from the time that we were brought to a point of self-choice that we are left alone to discover our true nature. If we are endowed with the attributes of self-choice and self-will and free will, we must be allowed to make this discovery, this great discovery, for ourselves. So I'm grateful that nobody is pushing me to make this discovery. I'm grateful that I am free to make this discovery at my own pace. It's completely up to me. And so is my experience of what I do with that discovery or don't. And so the whole idea is that we get to stop worrying so much. We get to stop fearing so much. We get to stop experiencing life as a burden so much. I think my biggest lesson around that was the experience of going through cancer treatment last year, where I realized I really had a choice. I had a choice to complain, to worry, to be afraid, to drag my behind, or I could just say, I got this. Universe, bring it on. I got this. I've developed my consciousness enough to know that when something happens, I know what to do. I know how to think. I know my tools. I know how to use them, right? And so the idea is that we get to always learn and grow and explore and embrace and discover and all that. And we get to make it fun and interesting. And at the same time, we have to remind ourselves that we get to choose to ever move in the direction of living and experiencing and awakening to the very truth principles already within us. We're already abundant. We're already pure love. We're already in the grace of life itself. I met a nurse the other day, and she was amazing. I just, no surprise, because I've really learned what to do to have people around me that are amazing. I mean. And this nurse said to me, we're all here, we're all just here for the grace of God. We're all just here for the grace of God. And I was so thrilled because I realized that's not about her. That I have her as a nurse and that she's saying that to me. That's about me, trusting and knowing that abundance is everywhere all the time. Am I there all the time? No, some of you have noticed. Right? And so last week we did these little cards, and if anybody still wants them, I'll give them to you. But we wrote on one side these truth principles about abundance that we discovered during the celebration. And then on the other side, we wrote things that we noticed that are in contradiction to that in our experience. So the one side reflected the truth principles, the color side, and the other side with the lines reflected our limiting beliefs in those truth principles. Can I see your cards, please? Okay, so this is a judgment-free zone, right? A shame-free zone. A couple of people have carried their cards around this week, so that tells me you've been working with this and you've been practicing, right? This stuff we have to practice every single day. I know some of you think you only need Sundays or an occasional class, but this is something we need to practice every day. Every single day, I spend an hour in study. I spend an hour in meditation and journaling and writing and treating, because that helps me go out into the world that seems pretty chaotic right now and to be able to stay and stand in the truth. I'm going to read from one of the books that I've been doing. But I'm studying Emma Curtis Hopkins every day. I'm studying 365 of Richer Living every day. I'm studying a reimagining cancer every day with a practice that you do 2 or 3 times a day. This whole year, I'm almost done with that one, although that book is so powerful that I will continue to use it. Science of Mind magazine every day. And then there's always a pile of books that I occasionally pull from, right? And so that's this idea of saying, I am committed to healing the sense of separation that I experience in my life, in my body, in my world, in my relationships, because I am here to be the truth in this human experience. And the beauty is, none of us do it perfectly. The first to admit that. And none of us will arrive completely and fully. And I could be wrong about that. Bill will arrive, I'm sure.
Yeah. I already have.
So it's about ever moving in the direction of greater truth so that any sense of separation and conflict dissolves, right? And so what that means is that we must look at our burdens differently. I said we must. We must. Look at our burdens differently. You don't get to tell the same miserable story over and over and over again. Neither do I. How can we change the story? How can we see it differently? How can we look at it differently? Maybe describe the invitation instead of the experience, right? And so that means that we get to realize that our burdens, I have burdens. Anybody else here have a burden or two? Right? It's part of our human experience. That means that we get to look at our burdens as effects. They're just effects. They're not cause. Cause is you are whole, perfect, and complete. Cause is you are already abundant. Cause is you are love in action. Cause is grace is all there is. But when we look at our effects, our burdens as an effect, then we must step back and say, what created this effect? And what do you think? Separation, a belief in separation. My consciousness, my thinking, my attitude, my beliefs. And that is not so we can beat ourselves up a little bit more, which we tend to, right? But that is to kind of say, oh, if that's true, then that means I can change it. And what do I do to change it? Well, we start where we are. You know, you can't start where somebody else is, even though you try. I know some of you tried to start where Ernest Holmes was, or maybe where Thich Nhat Hanh was, or maybe where Eckhart Tolle is, or maybe where Laurie is. But we cannot. We have to start where we are. That means we have to face our life experience and say, let me think about that. Let me explore that. What can I do? Do I need some support? Do I need to reach out to a practitioner? Because this tendency of separation is to complain, right? And to be afraid, and to worry, and to have anxiety. The idea is that we invest in our own consciousness, which is already in the place of truth. We just don't realize it, we don't believe it, we forgot it. And to call upon that in a deeper, richer way, so that we can change our habits. Have any of you heard how many days it takes to change a habit?
21.
21?
28.
28? 30? 40? 60? Infinite? I've heard all of the above. 21, 28, 30, 40. Yes, it takes time to change a habit. That doesn't mean that you practice it one time and then the 28th time. No, every day, right? And so there's a beautiful quote in the Bible in Psalms that says, cast your burden unto God. You can say love, truth, wisdom, whatever floats your boat. I like to say God. Cast your burden unto God and God will sustain you. Cast your burden unto love and love will sustain you. Cast your burden unto abundance and abundance will sustain you. Cast your burden unto truth and truth will sustain you. What do we believe about that? And so there's this wonderful practice that if anybody wants to make an effort to do this, I've done it about half a dozen times, and I have extra copies over there that you're welcome to take. We've done it as a community, we've done it with the Leadership Council. Well, I don't know if we got to 30 with every person on the Leadership Council, because the thing is, you practice this for 30 days, and when you skip a day, you start at day 1. And what it is you read these 4 pages. I know it looks like a lot, but the letters are very big. You read these 4 pages every single day, and then at the end, you mark it off. There's 30 numbers, and you just check it off. Just read it every day. Some of you are familiar with this. It's called The Spirit of Freedom, based on the essay by Thomas Troward called The Spirit of Opulence, which I love. It's a great word, opulence, right? It's a very powerful tool to change a habit around your ideas of abundance. And so what happens when we do these practices, we come to rely on truth principles more and more and more. We come to feel that we are spending more time in these truth principles and the experience thereof than in the opposite. And so I want to read from 365. You can tell how much I love this. And this is from October 12th. It says, the assets of a spiritually minded person are their ability to remain untouched by the confusion of the world around them. I need to read this again for myself. The assets of a spiritually minded person are their ability to remain untouched by the confusion of the world around them, and to instigate a creative process which will bring order out of chaos. It may seem easier to exist in a panicky state of mind, telling all whom we meet how difficult life is, than to remain poised and say nothing at all. Yet we are assured that there is a way of thinking wherein we can handle every situation with ease, stability, and poise by becoming still. And from a center within ourselves, find a peace which has never been disturbed. God in the midst of us is instantly available as peace, order, and harmony. All that is required is to turn within and think in God's terms, God's ideas. As we do this, the panic flees and order is reborn. We are already in the mind of God, which always operates in peaceful and perfect ways. I want that more than anything I want in my life. And I know you do too, or you wouldn't be here, right? And so, a few things that we get to do when we do our practices. Ask ourselves, what is my greatest source of abundance? What is your greatest source of abundance?
Family.
Me.
Family.
Family.
Faith.
Faith. Love.
Music.
Friends.
Friends.
Accepting.
Accepting. So yeah, the greatest source of abundance is within you. The greatest source of abundance is already within you. It's an infinite supply. And so what we do is we ask that question, and then we say, how do I get in the way of that? How do I block that? What idea or belief do I carry that blocks that flow? Because you are your greatest source of infinite supply. Your mind is, your heart is, your consciousness is, your spirit. And then, where is my infinite supply? Where is my infinite supply? It's right where I am. It's already within me. It's my consciousness, because my consciousness creates my reality. That's powerful. That gives me so much hope about who we are and what we're doing in the world as an organization, as a teaching. But you must feel worthy. You must feel worthy. Most of us aren't fully conscious of feeling unworthy. It's important to release that burden, to notice it. Begin where you are, right? To notice it, to work with it, to play with it, to explore it, to discover it, to uncover it. And then is to feel free. You know, I don't know many people that feel 100% free to be who they are. But feeling free is our birthright. It's our inheritance. It's always available. Now, not some tomorrow, not when, fill in the blank. And then it's to feel love. You and I are so infinitely loved by Spirit itself that we just can't take it. We can't take it. It's too much. So we push it away because it's just too much to take in. But the beauty is we don't have to take it all in at once. We can take little sips, little sip of love here and there, and really feel it. Really let yourself fill up with it. Take it in. Rumi says, love is the bridge between you and everything. Love is the bridge between me and everything else. So when I'm experiencing a burden or experiencing duality or a disconnect or a sense of separation, I just have to turn to love. And remember, it's the bridge. And how can I, as a unique individualization of the One, cross that bridge by bringing more love into my mind, my heart, my body, my soul, my relationships, the world? And that means that we have to love the truth more than anything. Love these beautiful truth principles that have been around for 100 years more than anything. There was a time where these ideas were weird and were quackery and were Pollyanna. Not anymore. They are everywhere now. They may not be called science of mind everywhere, but they are everywhere now. And so we get to just take that in. And so we're going to have some music, and this is a call and response, so you're invited to sing. And then Laurie is going to take us into an experience for all of us to open more widely and more deeply to the abundance that is available to us. Ready?
Yeah.
Anything I want, anything I desire, anything that brings me to my highest good. Anything I want, anything I desire, anything that brings me to my highest good. I release, and let go, I accept what is mine, I can have what I want, and let spirit direct the flow. Life is good, life is fun, life is great, this song is done.
Good morning, community. And you can have it. It is yours. It is mine. Abundance. So I'm going to lead you this morning in a little abundance meditation, a little guided visualization to dive deep into the sea of abundance which surrounds us. We know that abundance is our birthright. We know that abundance is all there is. Abundance is ours. God is everywhere present, and God is abundance. So there is abundance everywhere. We just need to recognize it. So I invite you to close your eyes and to visualize your perfect ocean vista, whatever that looks like to you. The perfect color, the perfect temperature, the perfect skyline, the perfect sea. This represents the sea of infinite abundance. This represents all possibility and potentiality. Now I invite you to dive in, not to approach the edge and put a toe or a foot into that water, but to dive right in to that sea of abundance, knowing, trusting, and believing that the universe is always happening for you, that all good is there for you to accept and receive. Feel yourself in that sensuous, beautiful water. Feel it caressing your skin. Feel surrounded and supported by that water, by that salt water, which you can float. It holds you up. You need not struggle. If you just relax and float on your back in this infinite sea of abundance, the universe has got you. And now I invite you to envision whatever limiting belief or fear or sense of separation is weighing you down a little and trying to drag you down. Just drop it. Let it flow away from you. Let it go to the bottom of the sea and feel yourself lifted, lighter, more open to receive the abundance that is everywhere present, in which you are floating. Yes, floating, supported, embraced by the all good of the universe. Of course, this doesn't mean that we don't swim. In this teaching, we treat and move our feet. So even in this infinite ocean that supports us and surrounds us, we swim. We use our arms and legs and we swim towards the destination we desire. You can have it. You swim towards it. But you swim in the consciousness that it is available, that it is there for you, that you must arrive there, that abundance is your birthright, and so it surrounds you, and so there is no flailing, there is no struggle. There is the perfect ease and grace of the perfect stroke, bringing you forward. And how beautiful that is. To know that supported and surrounded as we are, we still do our part. We still move within that abundance towards our desires. And knowing that this is the truth of our consciousness, knowing that abundance surrounds us at all times, and that we just need to move our feet and to receive and to open ourselves to it. Now I invite you to see yourself as a playful dolphin in that water. Jump, dive, splash, swim, because when you have faith in the absolute truth of your abundant nature and the abundant nature of the universe, you can swim with joy. You can swim with ease. You can swim playfully, gratefully, just absolutely enjoying every moment, because you know in your heart of hearts, deep within, that all is well, that the universe is for you, and that abundance is yours. There is no separation. You are one with the abundant sea. You are one with the playful dolphin. You are one with each other. And so as we come out onto the shore and back into this room, dry off, I invite you to bring this consciousness of abundance into our giving practice. So from this place of knowing that there is an infinite abundance available to you, I invite you to go within and see what is yours to give to this beautiful community that supports you, that feeds your spirit, that is here always. Whether it's text to give, we have a donation, a love offering basket over here. You can go on the website, which is what I do, and hit the donate button. You can be of service. You can serve at social hour, especially during our ginormous gratitude month. There are so many ways to give. You can join us on our walk today. For Nourish New Jersey, we are walking for hunger. We invite you all to donate, to join us, to walk on this beautiful fall day. For any way that you are motivated and inspired to give back, give. Because we know that as we give, so we receive. And so open yourself to the abundant sea of the universe by giving joyously, gratefully, and generously. And so now I will close with a closing treatment.
Yeah, let me.
Reverend Frankie's going to make another announcement.
She's going to do a closing treatment, but I want to let you know, most of you know by now, that we are walking for Nourish NJ, which is an amazing organization that's local. And Franny so generously arranged for this to happen again. We did it last year, and it was so fun. It was also a beautiful day, although colder, right? We're going to meet in Lewanika Park, and the address on your GPS is it's
South Street?
yes,
South
South
Street.
Street, South Street entrance. Parking can be a little tricky, but just, we're all treating, and we'll just go around until somebody leaves. We've raised $800. Our goal is 1,000. So today can be the day where you share an additional gift in support of Nourish NJ. You can give cash, you can do a check, you can do it online. We can help you do it right on the website. And no gift is too small. And those of us who are walking, you get a free Got Joy t-shirt. So come and meet us in the park and you get a t-shirt. And we would love to have more people join us. I think we have about, a dozen so far? And it's really fun. It's not like a hike. It's not 2 hours long. If I can do it on chemo, last year, you can all do it. And maybe some of you need to be piggyback, but come and join us because it's a really special day and it's a special event for us and it's a special organization that we support. So Lori, close us with a healing treatment.
And I'm walking, so if you come, you get to walk with me. So I invite you to close your eyes and to hear these words as if they were your own. I know that there is one power, one presence, one divine creative spirit, the source of all that is, the Alpha and the Omega, that which created everything from the smallest grain of sand to the farthest reaches of the cosmos, that which surrounds us in the sea of abundance in which we live. I know that I am one with this power, that this power exists in me, as me, and through me, and that I am here on this physical plane to remember that and to demonstrate that in all I think, do, and say. And as I know this is true for me, I know this is true for each one here. We are each unique sparks of this one divine flame, here to remember that and to be channels of that love, that abundance, that energy. And so right here, right now, I know that this community is an expression of absolute love in action. That we are a giving, caring, sharing, walking community, and that we give forth to the world and share our abundant nature with everyone around us. I accept and affirm for everyone here that the good that flows to us is infinite, abundant, because we share it openly, generously, and with such joy. And I am grateful for every moment that we get to spend in sacred communion together. I am grateful for every moment of inspiration and motivation and learning and meditation and prayer and community. What a wonderful thing it is to have an abundant community of which we are a part. And so with an ever grateful heart for this beautiful teaching, for this beautiful community, for all that we are and all that we do, I release this word into an ever-present and loving law, knowing that as I think it, speak it, and do truly believe that so it must be, as the law can only say yes. And I invite you to join me in saying, and so it is.
Better